Hi, everyone, and welcome to season 2 and episode 2 of Behind Your Eyes. Today, Georgette is my guest. So, hi, Georgette, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, Suzanne. My name is Georgette, and I am an intuitive healer and consultant. I work mainly with helping my clients release emotions, process emotions, reprogram limiting beliefs. And my specialty is working with corporate professionals and people in
Mhm.
general dealing with burnout, stress, and anxiety,
Mhm.
which is kind of like what led me into doing this kind of back when I was working in corporate and dealing with a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, um, just helping them guide themselves, guide them through these, we call them mental health issues,
Mhm.
but they're really not. It's just uh, and all is joy, is happiness. So I help my clients guide them to back to themselves, back
Mhm.
home to that state,
Yeah.
but first by processing all of those emotions and limiting beliefs that make you think that you have to hustle, that you have to work hard, and all this programming that we've had from society and from a very early age. So
Mhm.
that's pretty much what I do. Yeah.
And I always start this series with the question, a sincere, how are you doing?
It's an interesting, sincere answer.
Mhm.
I'm doing better now,
Mhm.
but I've been through the ringer in the past 6 months since I moved back to my home country,
Mhm.
Mexico. I've been living in Canada for almost a decade.
Mhm.
But given the situation back home, I call it home, Canada, with the mandates and all the COVID restrictions, it really made life very hard, at least for me.
Mhm.
Um, and I was dealing with a lot of stress too of not being able to, like, waiting there to get my citizenship. I was pretty much stuck there for the
Mhm.
2 years of the pandemic. I lived alone, so I hadn't seen my family in almost 3 years, and that really took a toll
Mhm.
on my mental health.
Yeah.
So, and also on my physical health. So since I've been here for almost 6 months, it's going to be 6 months on the 3rd of August,
Mhm.
and it has really been a road to, I call it a road to recovery
Yeah.
in terms of physical health. As I was telling you off camera, I had an accident before I came back home. So recovering from that accident and really realizing that I thought I felt fine when I was there. I felt fine, but
Mhm.
in reality I was in survival mode.
Mhm.
I was just doing the things, like going through the motions of the things that I needed to do in order for me to keep paying my bills
Mhm.
and distracting myself from the fact that it wasn't certain when I would be able to come back home.
Right.
And with the uncertainty of not being able to see my family, or a lot of things that I was really dealing with, and making the decision of selling all my things and transferring my lease and really just burning the ships
Yeah.
for the life that I had worked so hard
Mhm.
for almost a decade, and saying this is not serving me anymore. So making that decision and like really going through that grieving process of leaving a place I called home for so long,
Mhm.
and coming back, it has been really a readaptation process,
Yeah.
while having some like, I call them health challenges, because I thank God I never get sick, I never feel ill. Like coming back, like just going back to doctors, like visits with doctors, just scheduling routine checkups that I hadn't done because of I
Mhm.
was over there. Like I
Yeah.
hadn't done in like 3 years, and then realizing that I had developed some minor conditions, like it's not serious, but things
Mhm.
that were came out of the blue, right?
Right.
Like having lumps in my breasts that turned out to be benign, but still, that scare of like, when did this happen?
Yeah.
So it's been interesting. It's been like I call it a rocky, bumpy road,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, nothing major, but still brought me a little bit of balance. So
Mhm.
I just now I feel that I'm slowly starting to get back. I wouldn't call it my old self, because the
Mhm.
old self is I don't know if it's she's dead, but she's evolved. So
Yeah,
it's
you're a
not
new you now.
exactly. So it's like birthing this new version of me
Yeah, and you
after
are
going
like in an,
through
oh, sorry.
so many challenges in the past. Well,
Mm.
like the rest of the world, right?
Yeah,
People, it's shown up in different ways, but my own challenges in the past couple
mm.
of years, it's been interesting.
Yeah, because you are a healer yourself, and
Hmm.
you help others heal. And for me, it's always, when you want to heal other people, you have to heal yourself first. And so I'm interested, how has this healing journey been for you, and how have you done your own healing?
Well, first, like, let me just clarify something, and I really
Mm.
think that it's important that people know that we don't, as long as we're incarnated, we're on this physical body,
Mhm.
in this human body, we're never gonna be fully healed.
Mhm.
It's a journey. So if you really want to start helping people, don't wait until you're fully healed, because that will never happen.
Right.
So I would rather say work on yourself and make that work and that inner work a daily commitment.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter feel if you feel like you healed or not, but as long as you're committed to that self growth
Yeah.
and self introspection, that journey, you are good. You're able to guide others. You only need to be one
Mhm.
step ahead of the
Yeah.
person that is going through the same things or similar things that you've been going through.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't think that you need to be fully healed before you do
Yeah, there's
so.
no such thing as fully healed, like you said. Yeah.
Hmm. And in my case, the things that I've been doing in the past 6 months, or even when I was working on my own healing, when I started this journey, it was really focusing on what can I control today,
Right.
because there's a lot of things that are beyond, that we cannot control, things in our external world that are not within our control. The
Mhm.
only thing that we have control over is our state of being.
Mhm.
So just focusing on the daily things that bring me back to myself and that help me return to my center and being in that state of balance as often as I can.
Mhm.
So daily self-care rituals, daily meditation, being mindful of what I put in my body, taking care of my diet,
Mhm.
exercising, catching myself when I have negative thoughts,
Mhm.
and turning, flipping the dialogue, just really like day-to-day things
Mhm.
that help me get back to that state of presence, to that state of peace,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
not always easy. It takes some effort sometimes, because
Yeah.
sometimes these negative thoughts can be very intrusive and very insistent on, they keep telling you you're not gonna make it,
Mhm.
you're gonna be struggling all the time, you're not gonna go back to how you were before the accident,
Right.
uh, like the lumps that you found is gonna be, it's not gonna be benign, it's gonna turn into
Mhm.
cancer.
Yeah.
That's the nature of those intrusive thoughts, because that's the way our brains are wired. We're
Mhm.
wired for survival.
Yeah.
So so these negative thoughts most of the time coming because the ego doesn't feel safe. The ego feels that there's something in our environment that we need to control, because
Mhm.
the ego is in here for survival.
Yeah.
So that's keeping us in that survival mode. So it takes extra mindfulness and extra effort to turn that dialogue around and to really say, this is just
Mhm.
today.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the future. I don't know what's going to happen, but for today, I am safe. I am well. I'm healthy. I have a roof over my head, everything. I made it out of Canada. So that was what was really concerning me,
Mhm.
whether I was going to be able to make it out of the country or not.
And do you think mindset work is essential to keeping mentally healthy?
I think so. I
Mhm.
think so. It's a crucial piece in the puzzle of mental health that is often overlooked, and is just in the mainstream solved by just giving the patient some pills, Prozac,
Mhm.
as if it's something that a chemical could really solve, when in reality is learning how to be more loving with ourselves,
Mhm.
and being compassionate with ourselves and patient with ourselves. That's another key thing that has really helped me, patience. Because
Yeah.
I tend to be all my life I've been a very impatient person. I want things for yesterday.
Yeah.
So in this process, especially like in the physical healing process after the accident and everything, it was, I couldn't do anything except wait.
Mhm.
Like wait for the fall and the sequels of my fall to evolve, and to just allow the body to have its natural healing process
Yeah.
that only comes through time.
Yeah.
Because what I think what's failing in modern medicine is that we don't allow the body to heal, to
Mhm.
have its natural healing processes. We always want a quick fix
Yeah.
without leaving the body the time to do what it knows best, which is to
Mhm.
heal. The body wants to heal.
Yeah.
It's just that the environment is not always the best. It's not always
Mhm.
optimal to allow the body to do what it knows best, which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
to function properly.
Yeah, usually they want to, like you said, a quick fix with medication, and they just look at what's happening in your body, but they don't see like how's your life right now, what is surrounding you right now, how are your emotions right now, what's going on in your life that is causing this. So it's just a quick fix and nothing else.
And what are you eating also? It's
Yeah.
in the visits with the doctor, it really blew my mind that they never asked me, how's your
Hmm.
diet?
Yeah.
And that's crucial, because health starts in the gut. It really
Hmm.
does. So if we don't mind what we are putting in our bodies and how we turn those inputs into energy, then
Hmm.
how are we going to understand how where the source of disease comes from?
Yeah.
So
And what advice would you give someone who is like at the start of their healing journey and discovering about self-care and like breath work, etc.?
just be patient and allow yourself to be curious. Go back to that state where you were a kid, and you were just curious about things, and you asked questions and do research on, because there are so many modalities out there, so many people doing this kind of work, especially after the past 2 years. I think the need for this kind of work has increased.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say tenfold, a million. And really find the person that you resonate with.
Hmm.
It's not because they have like millions of followers or necessarily be good for you.
Hmm.
You just need to resonate with what they're saying, and really trust your inner voice, and let yourself be guided, because there's sometimes, most times, when we are quiet enough to hear like a voice within
Hmm.
that is telling us, click on this link,
Hmm.
contact this person,
Yeah.
go on YouTube, search for that video. Don't question, don't second guess. Like just
Yeah.
go with it, and you'll you will find out that you will be shown kind of like breadcrumbs in
Hmm.
your path,
Yeah. That you're
the
guided. Yeah.
journey that exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it happened for me.
Yeah. It's more like a reconnecting to your intuition.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And from what I remember from your Instagram, it's quite a while though that I did this research, but I remember you doing pole dancing. Is that still something that you enjoy doing?
I love it. I haven't been able to go back since I came back because of all these challenges that I've been going through. So
Yeah.
for my priority was really to rest, because I was really tired and I didn't notice, because like I said, I'd been running on adrenaline for 2 years, especially the last 6 months that I was over there. So I came back and my body crashed. So I didn't work out for 4 months after I came back, just
Hmm.
allowing my body to have that rest time. I
Yeah.
didn't even have the energy to work out. So of course I lost a little bit of physical condition. So
Mm.
I took up boxing classes back in June. So
Mm.
I've been doing boxing for June and July, starting to get back in shape before I can actually go back
Mhm.
to doing pole, because I didn't want to go back and feel frustrated that I didn't have enough strength to pull myself up the pole
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So again, like learning how to be patient and saying, I know that it's there. I found a studio near my place. I found a teacher. I know I'm gonna come back, but for
Yeah.
now it's on hold.
Yeah. Learn to listen to your body and accept sometimes it's
Yeah,
flaws, you know. And I've read on your Instagram that it's
exactly.
your
And
mission to help humanity evolve into a higher state of consciousness. And could you tell a bit more about that?
what that really means is what I was explaining to you at the beginning, helping them guide, helping humanity come back to ourselves, come back
Mm.
to us as a teacher, to us as the healer, to us as the guide.
Mhm.
Because the humanity is that it always turned outside to exist. So we always
Mhm.
think that a person outside of us knows better than us.
Mhm.
Nobody's living in our shoes. So what does it mean to achieve those higher states of consciousness? Is meaning really coming to that place of full trust and surrender that you are being guided to what your truth is, which is the
Mhm.
best for you and you only.
Yeah.
My truth might differ from yours. It's for sure different. We have different energetic signatures. Our souls are different. We're here on different missions.
Mhm.
So really trying to imitate somebody else or living up to somebody else's definition of success, of happiness,
Mhm.
I don't think it leads to authentic
Mhm.
happiness and fulfillment. We need to learn how to trust that inner voice, and
Yeah.
that's what really achieving a higher states of consciousness is. Really being sovereign and owning who you are and stepping up for your truth and living your truth,
Mhm.
having the courage to live your truth.
Do you think there's like since COVID, there's a shift happening that more people are realizing that?
I think so. I'd like to think so, at least.
Yeah.
uh, Sometimes we might think that things are getting worse, that the
Hmm.
world is really going to shit, but I think that there's always been so much darkness and so many things happening in the background that we weren't aware of, because it was just very well hidden. We were unconscious, we were asleep.
Hmm.
And I think COVID was a great opportunity for us to start waking up to a reality, for us to start asking ourselves these deeper questions that we really never had the time to, because we were living in a rat race, very fast paced. So finally we get locked down and
Hmm.
had time to sit with ourselves and face our demons, right?
Hmm.
Like really sit with ourselves and find out what's really going on inside,
Yeah,
which I think
definitely.
for a lot of people triggered this awakening.
Yeah, it's like we almost had to be forced to stay inside, be restricted in many ways, that we didn't have so much distractions, that we had to take a look at ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that's the good thing that comes out of it, right?
I think so. And I think, for as tough as it was, I think COVID was a blessing in disguise, because
Hmm.
it put in the forefront everything that we either didn't want to look at, didn't want to
Hmm.
see, or didn't even know existed,
Yeah.
both at a macro level in
Hmm.
the outside world and within
Yeah.
our own inner world, which I think if if you want to see change in the world, start with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It really does start from within, because when
Mm-hmm.
you achieve that state of sovereignty, of peace, you're not you're not at war with the world anymore.
Yeah.
You're not a victim to the
Mm-hmm.
circumstances anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You take control of your own life. You take
Yeah.
control of your own choices. And that's a place of empowerment, a place of sovereignty,
Yeah.
where you know that no matter what is going on outside, you have the tools and you have yourself
Mm-hmm.
to carry yourself through whatever it is that is going on,
Yeah.
both
And I
in your
think
life.
when you're living your authentic life as your authentic self, it will inspire many people around you and see like, hey, I can be my true authentic self and still live, my best life. Are you
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a whole point. That's the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And what I would like to ask you personally is if you could talk to a younger version of yourself, what would you tell her?
I love that question because I think about it so many times.
Mm,
I would just tell her, take it easy, and really get to know yourself and what you really love. Like get honest with what you really love,
mhm,
and stop pleasing your family and living up to other people's expectations of you.
mhm.
Just do
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, again, be your authentic self. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is the best advice you were ever given?
The best advice, sorry,
The best advice that you
what
were
was
ever
the
given?
question? Flow, like
Mm,
water, just
mm,
flow. When I was told that advice, it was 10 years ago, and I didn't really quite, I was like, what do you mean? I
mm,
need those things. Like, you don't understand. You don't understand what I'm going through. What do you mean? So easy for you to say flow,
mm.
but what does that really mean?
Right.
And now that I understand the meaning of flow more, that's exactly what I was just saying: surrender
Mm-hmm.
and trust, and just let things unfold that are not within your control, just to unfold,
Right.
and just see what life carries you.
Yeah. Like letting go of resistance. And what is something that you are most proud of?
Yeah. Wow. In terms of, like in the past, I would answer external achievements,
Mm,
but now I would say that the thing that I'm most proud of is having arrived to that place where I know that no matter what is happening
mm,
outside, I can count on myself. Like
mm.
I've always got my back.
Yeah.
Trusting myself.
Mm,
That's that place of full trust in myself, like that, achieving that, um, like that certainty that I'm gonna carry myself through any storm.
mm. Yeah.
That has been my biggest achievement.
Yeah. That you are your own anchor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm. That must feel really good. Yeah.
It does because I know that no matter, like, it's really an anchor, because if the sea gets really, there's a storm and it gets bumpy on the road, and it gets really challenging, and sometimes I feel like quitting or what have you, I know that if I just pause, take a breath, and wait it out,
Mm.
I'm going to figure things out, or
Yeah.
things are going to come to me,
Mm.
as long as I am open, trusting, and receptive
Yeah.
to the messages that I'm being sent and that I'm
Mm.
receiving.
Yeah. And my final question, I always end the series with this question. When are you at your happiest?
When am I at the happiest?
Hmm.
Mm. When I'm by the ocean.
Mm. You're a fan of
Yeah,
nature and the quietness of the ocean.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much,
I
Georgette,
really miss
for
that.
today and for your open talk with me. And I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you so much.